it's your boy Ancient Albatross here, and I'm here to tell y'all about the amazing upcoming VTT RPG stories. Do you ever feel like your online games are lacking interactivity and that visual pow that really engages and immerses you or your players? Tired of creating 3D terrains and maps with those hard-to-use apps? Need an easier way to create content for marketplaces? Then you need to get in on RPG stories. RPG Stories lets you fully immerse yourself and your players in any type of world you want. Fantasy, modern, sci-fi, RPG Stories does it all. And just look at the characters. These models and animations are fantastic. I can't imagine going back to regular VTTs after seeing my favorite characters moving around like this. And my gosh, look how easy it is to make detailed terrain and maps. Not only that, you can easily fill the world with quests and other details. One of the coolest things though, is that you can export everything you do within your game. 2D images, 3D models for 3D printing, and you can even export your entire game as a module. Everything exported this way belongs to you, and you can share, even sell these wonderful things you've created with RPG stories. So what are you waiting for? Hit that special Cypher Unlimited link down below to back RPG stories and let them know the CU boy sent ya. And the Kickstarter is live until October 1st, so be sure to get in before it's over. And now, on to the show. Hey yo, it's your boy Ancient Albatross here again with the Cypher Unlimited crew. We have our usual suspects of AD or Alpha Dean. We have Spigs18 or Anthony. And just as a quick reminder, if you haven't already, be sure to follow us here on Twitch and give us a sub over on YouTube. We are very close to 1,000 subs over there, so every sub is very appreciated. But Dean, what are we doing here tonight?
Well, guys, you know what? I thought we were going to talk about something else, but I got confused, but now I'm all ready. We're going to talk about the weird. We're going to talk about Monte Cook's latest project that they got out there for crowdfunding. This is a very, very interesting and different type of project, but I think is well needed, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. The weird is a system agnostic ideal where they're going to give advice on building scenarios, characters, NPCs, monsters, settings, you name it. This book is chock full of it. So, you know, without further ado, we're going to jump in. We're going to talk about the backers kit, and we're going to talk about, you know, how this one is being crowdfunded differently. And then we're going to talk about the free preview. So without further ado, Ant, you want to get us started?
What's up, guys? Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the CU. Dean pretty much hit the nail on the head. I think the first thing I'm definitely going to say is Monte Cook Games is not on Kickstarter. It's on Backer Kit, which is, I know they're testing it out, but which is surprising because they've had a tremendous amount of success on Kickstarter. This is the second project, I believe, on Backer Kit, if I'm not mistaken. Was God's God's Appalachia on Backer Kit?
No, that was Kickstarter. This is the first one over on Backers Kit.
Oh, so yeah, even more exciting. So yeah, before we even get into it, let's just go over the numbers. There's 23 days left already on this project. Not like Dean said, not only are you getting the weird, your Numenera is also getting a book onto itself, which is awesome. So you immediately get 2 books. So they have 2,437 backers already, 23 days left, and $247,022 already raised. So this looks like it's probably going to be another $500,000, you know, crowdfunded project, which is crazy. I think I'm surprised when MCG doesn't hit 400K, you know, so I think this is going to definitely hit 400K. What do you guys think?
At least.
Yeah, no. People love, well, 2 things. Well, a bunch of things, but 2 main things. People love Monte Cook Games. Like, no matter what they put out, people tend to love it. We saw it with Your Best Game Ever, which wasn't really, you know, I mean, there were some Cypher books, but still, people still talk about Your Best Game Ever. But yeah, the weird looks amazing. The art looks amazing. And the second thing is, it has a Numenera book. People love Numenera. The Glimmering Valley sounds really cool. And yeah, I think it's going to do strong for those 2 reasons.
All right, so let's just touch on the Glimmering Valley quickly before we'll really concentrate on the weird. But, you know, it's essentially a whole new region in Numenera that hasn't been touched. So, you know, this one book is probably going to give you hundreds of campaign ideas, hundreds of hours of gameplay. You know,
And
okay, Dean.
I was just saying, the major thing about it is, like, Monte Cook said, it's a perfect jump off point. It's a different place from the Steadfast. It's the perfect place for you to have a base of operations for your starting campaign, which is exciting in of itself. Because I think this is the first time we've gotten another place that's kind of, that kind of concept where it's, a starting point.
So I would assume not only are you going to get a ton of artifact ciphers, a whole new map to explore, they most definitely probably put an adventure in there. So, once again, I would have backed it just for Glimmering Valley, to be honest.
And probably some new foci too.
Yeah. So this is probably just the cherry on top of the weird. So I'm really curious to, I wonder why they decided to do that. I mean, my gut feeling would be they decided to probably incorporate it to just bring attention to the product itself. But I think MCG's name, I could be wrong, but I think MCG's name in the gaming industry is already strong enough that they're going to hit numbers regardless if they added this or not.
Yeah,
Well,
I think, but
I was just going to say, if I just read the quick little paragraph that they got about the Glimmering Valley, and it just kind of sums up everything. And it says, the Glimmering Valley brings you a fascinating and beautifully fleshed out region from which to launch your Numenera campaign. It details an area designed specifically as the origin point for a group of eager explorers. You can set it almost anywhere in the Ninth World. It brings Numenera back to its roots and gives players a place to call home, a place to defend if and when it becomes threatened, a springboard into the many splendors and dimensions of the broader Ninth World setting. And being Numenera, the Glimmering Valley is weird. So I think what that's saying, guys, I mean, look at it this way. That means you can bring into play all those other books like Priest of the Aeon. You can bring into play the community building things that were put out when we got the Discovery and Destiny. So I just think
what books I absolutely love, but I never got to brought to the table was the Into books.
Exactly.
So I can actually see what you're talking about, Dean. That you can incorporate those as well. Numenera just got too many freaking books. It's hard to be able to use all of them.
And see, what you just said, Anthony, now that is actually brilliant, because if you think about it, you could take the Glimmering Valley, what they're saying, because you can drop it anywhere. Imagine if you dropped the Glimmering Valley like into the deep, and you literally made this a place that's, an air bubble underwater. It's a valley underwater. So you can set it there. Or if you did it as an extra dimensional place that pops up and moves around, kind of like, remember the old movie Crow, how the kind of castle moved around? You could do it with dimensional stuff, or you could have it as like this thing that's floating in outer space, and there's just a doorway to step from space to land, but you don't realize that's what you're doing. So many possibilities.
I say yes to everything you just said. To all four different scenarios.
I'm just saying, that's so cool, right? Ain't that hella cool? And I just came up with that just from that little blurb that just hit me.
It's definitely a very cool sounding book. But going back to what Anthony was saying about tacking it onto this, I think they're just taking the same approach they did with Your Best Game Ever, like I mentioned before, where they kind of put cipher books in there just so more eyes see it, which makes sense. It's a good business marketing thing.
Yeah. Analyst asks, explain why they're on backer kit versus Kickstarter. We don't know, but I personally heard that Kickstarter, just like something Matt guy said, that I heard that backer kit actually takes a little less of the cut, so that might have something to do with it. But I will say this, that for not today, but the next 3 Wednesdays following, we have several members of the MCG team coming on to promote this product. So I'm pretty sure one of them will be able to answer this question. I'll just say it. We got Bruce Cordell coming on next Wednesday. Bear Waiter coming on the following Wednesday, and Monte Cook is making a return 3 weeks from now on October 6th. So one of them will definitely have the answer to one of those, any and all of these questions that we're gonna come up with today. Because to be honest, I backed this, but I haven't fully looked into like everything about it. So this is almost like our fresh eyes looking at this backer kit. You know, call me a fanboy or whatever you want. My usual process is they announce the Kickstarter, I back at the everything level, walk away, and then a couple of days later I go back and see exactly what's in it.
Exactly. I mean, that's not the lie, because it was funny. I was at work and Anthony was like, "Hey, did you back it yet?" I'm like, "Back what?" He's like, "It's up." I'm like, "Oh," and I was at work. I just literally went, found my email, click, 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 and like you said, we back at the highest level so we can make sure we have everything. So
Yeah, it's definitely with Monte Cook Games, when you see that there's an announcement of a new thing or a backer kit, Kickstarter, or whatever have you, you back it because you know whatever it is that they're gonna put out is gonna be good. Like it's just, there's like no, even if you like even vaguely have like some kind of interest in the genre or whatever line of thing, you'll love it.
Not only is it going to be good, it's guaranteed to fulfill. It's guaranteed to fulfill on time or reasonably close to the time that they state that it's going to be. You know, you're going to get a bunch of rewards. You know, there's going to be a bunch of because you know that they're going to hit way past. They're going to zoom past whatever they ask you for. So they're going to go into all the rewards. So if you back at the everything level, there has not been an MCG Kickstarter or crowdfunded project that has not given you a bang for your buck if you back at the everything level. I think you always get at least twice your money's worth, and sometimes in some Kickstarters, you're getting 4 or 5 times what you're putting in. So I never worry about that.
excuse me, guys. Sorry about that.
All right, so let's go into the actual weird thing. Al or Dean, one of you guys want to read the little excerpt?
Sure. Wait a minute. You want to go into you talking about into the
weird.
PDF?
No,
the PDF?
No, we're still on
The backers kit.
Yeah, the backers kit.
Go ahead, because I have to go back. I was actually way down looking at the backer levels.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. I'm just gonna read the little like from the image there that they have because I like it.
Yeah,
so,
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so from interesting to gonzo and everything in between. Role-playing games give us a chance to explore, discover, imagine, create, and face challenges. Our games shine brightest when they're vivid, unique, and a little bit mind-bending. So how do you make another room full of orcs, another space station full of aliens, or another dark cult really special? How do you make every game session truly new and memorable? A moment of real discovery and imagination? You make it weird. The weird.
When I first read this, right, I wasn't sure, like initially when they first posted this, I wasn't sure if this was another Cypher System setting book, right? But then, as we're going to explore earlier, they took the toolkit concept that they've been coming out with, excuse me, that they've been coming out with for the Cypher System, genre books, and just flipped it on its end. They were like, okay, we're going to give you a toolkit book, but we're going to make it genre agnostic, which I think is a really cool idea.
Genre and system agnostic.
Yeah.
And system. It's not just Cypher System. I mean, it's going to work beautifully with Cypher System. It'll work beautifully with any Monte Cook product, Invisible Sun, what have you. But
actually, it probably work with any role playing.
But no, I'm saying it's going to work great with any MCG product, but it is truly system agnostic. I could see using just from the little blurbs that once we start going into the PDF, we'll be able to talk about it. I can see using it for 5e. I can see using it for Savage Worlds or whatever other game you want to do, because it literally is just putting the ideology of how are you crafting your adventures. It's giving you the tools to craft those adventures in another with another eye.
So
Go ahead.
what do you think essentially is going to be in this book? I mean, we have a sort of idea of what's going to be in it, but do you think it's going to be all like charts and random tables, or they're going to actually have genres broken down?
Well, just from the preview, we see that they're going to have not just the genres broken down, but even the directions of your weird. I mean, they break the idea of the weird down into 4 component ideas, which is cool. I think that's as in your words, Anthony, that's hella cool. Because they break it down in 4 component ideas that you can plug in, that you literally can plug in. So, just think if I'm running a fantasy game and I want to plug in, making it more interesting, or or I want to go to the Gonzo realm or whatever, it's all there. It's really cool. It's kind of like, prime example would be, look at what Taika Waititi did to the Thor movies. The first 2 Thor movies had a very serious slant, and then when you got to Thor Ragnarok, it had a more whimsical rant. He did what this book is going to allow you to do. He put the weird into it.
And another thing that all sounds spot on. I could definitely see that, being the direction the book takes. But I feel like something we can also see is, since it's system agnostic, maybe little scenes, like maybe 2-page, maybe even 1-page scenes that you could just drop. Like they said in the beginning in that little blurb, like, how do you make a space station of aliens more into? How do you make a band of camp of orcs more interesting? I could see them as examples, giving a few of like a small scene, like, hey, this orc camp has this, and this is the weird aspect, and it'll give you a template on how to make your normal stuff quote unquote weird, if that makes sense.
That also, and I think this bears the artwork, the cover on this is freaking awesome. It seems like every book that comes out, between the art direction, the artists they choose, the logos, they just raising the bar higher and higher. Like when I saw Tidal Blades, I was like, yo, this is such a beautiful book. The weird looks like it's going to be even prettier than that. And
Cool.
I have a graffiti background, so I really appreciate the
title.
the title and the way the words are. It's just, it's so eye-catching to me.
Well, what I'm looking at when I look at just the cover of the weird, and then like we're looking at the examples of the artwork, it reminds me of a combination of expressionist art, like Vallejo or Frank Francetta, those older artworks, those and pulp era art, and then what's his name, Salvador Dali. It's like a combination of all of these things. So you got this mind. It's actually like it's supposed to be. It's mind bending. It gets you in the mode to get weird.
I think the cover reminds me of Ron Baudet. Like he's actually credited for inspiring graffiti artists in the 1970s.
Oh yeah, I can see that too, Ron. Yeah, I can see that too. And Sumter McGuy said it reminds me of a Jimi Hendrix title. Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think that's what they was going for. It definitely has that 1960s psychedelic
purple haze. Let's do the purple haze.
Yeah, it definitely does have that vibe. And again, that's a great thing for maybe people younger in the audience. Like, that's a fantastic aesthetic. And again, I'm on the younger side, so I wasn't alive for any of this, but I severely enjoy the aesthetic.
I'm old. I'm not that old.
I am old enough to remember Jimi Hendrix. He was actually dead by the time I was born, but my brothers and sisters, they're all much older than me, so I got to enjoy that, like I was about to say, excuse me while I kiss this fly. I
Well,
mean,
don't get me wrong. I grew up listening to Jimi Hendrix. I just
Yeah.
wasn't alive when he was popular.
right, exactly. Exactly.
Go ahead.
I'm just looking at the chat. Sumter McGuy is making some great references. He said maybe your players can meet Voodoo Child in the Glimmering Valley. Yeah,
Awesome.
Absolutely. So
Alright,
now I'm gonna have to go out and put my Jimi Hendrix albums out and make a whole adventure based on the album.
We did a video on that. Remember making adventures based on music?
Yeah, based on the album. Yeah.
All right, so now that we have a general idea, like I said, we're gonna actually go over the free download, but right now we're just gonna go over the back of kit stuff, right? They've already hit 2 stretch goals. Actually, they're about to hit the 3rd stretch goal. So let's go over what the stretch goals are and the ones they hit already. So at 150K, they were gonna expand the book, right? Which they easily hit that. And then they're making a deluxe version with bookmarks and a deluxe, I think it has a slip cover. They hit that. And for 250K, they're gonna make weird stickers to customize your character sheets, which is actually a pretty cool idea. But I just hope that the stickers are not attached to the book, because we got this before. Because I hate ripping things out of a book.
You remember
I
when
have
I
a
tore that
problem.
page out on stream when you mentioned it?
I have a problem. I have a very terrible problem. I'll have to buy another book just so I can tear the page out.
But
I'm gonna have to buy a separate book.
That's
real
what I said.
quick
I'm going
though,
to buy a second book.
real quick though, it's funny with the 150K stretch goal. It's actually what I mentioned. If you look at the details, it says they'll expand the weird with ready-made weird events you can drop in any game. There we go. Now we know it's gonna be in the book. That's amazing.
Have they announced another stretch goal?
Not yet. No, that's what we see right now. They haven't. I haven't seen anything new.
I'm sure we'll see something new soon because they are very close to that next one.
They're chomping at the bit on that next one.
All right, so they're gonna announce it really soon.
Okay, so you're talking about the one thing they're gonna put. That's kind of cool. A translucent dust jacket, foil cover with an iridescent sheen, and foil stamped bookmarks. Those are gonna be hot.
I mean, everything they usually do is like the dice, the card sets. They always, like I said, that's why I always back it at the everything level, because I learned my lesson when I first started following, MCG on Kickstarter. Is I would back at what I'm interested in, and then I'll see when everything starts coming out, I'll be like, shit, I didn't get that. So now I just back at the everything level, and then when someone asks, hey, is this coming out? Yeah, I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, and this is
you showing me that, Al?
He's tearing books out the page. That's what
No, that was the page I tore out of the book on stream. Yeah, like that's literally the one I had tore out. I have it. They have it right next to me always.
But you hurt me. That still hurts, and it wasn't even my book. It hurts. So, let's talk about what comes with the weird. Because you made mention of the weird deck.
So I'm assuming, right? I could be wrong, but I'm assuming that the weird deck is going to be the charts from the roll table charts in card form, so you could just draw them and pick, right?
If you look at it, it says the weird deck is going to include inspirations and ideas. Just turn a card, keep things moving at the game table, and useful during prep 2. Draw one or draw several and pick the idea you like. Basically, great ideas and interesting twists sometimes benefit from a little spur of the moment inspiration. Need to keep the pace of your game moving while adding some weird into the mix. With the weird deck, you can generate ideas on the fly. Draw a card, draw 3 or 4, and see which idea clicks for you.
And the site deck, the Numenera site deck looks freaking awesome. Like anybody that knows us knows that we like doing improv games, and this is the perfect. I got 30 minutes to run a Numenera game. I'm gonna pull my adventure off the site deck, pull the weird deck, pull out the NPC deck that you already have, and you could just have your game running off just 3 decks.
For that deck, and don't forget, you got to have your intrusion deck if you're especially if you're a new GM. I will definitely, say have an intrusion deck there.
And on top of all this, with this growing niche of solo play, more decks is always better. I know our friend Donald is probably quite happy about seeing these decks. He's quite a fan of physical decks, and stuff like this definitely helps with solo play as well.
Oh yeah, we've been lucky enough to tap into the solo play community recently, and there's several of them on our server. And I think the Weird, just by conversating with them on the server, the Weird might be the perfect book for them because it's full of randomized charts.
Right, randomized ideas and everything.
And the randomized chart ideas that's what makes a solo player, that's what gets a solo player excited for a book purchase.
Yeah, basically the random tables, decks like that, all that stuff is basically the backbone of solo play. So having more of an arsenal to put in your backbone is, it makes it better.
So
they also have a ton of miniatures coming out as well. And of course, if you're back at the everything level, you get to download them to print them yourself.
Plus, you're gonna get physical ones too.
Oh, you got physical ones too?
At the everything level, there's physical ones, and you also get the STLs to print.
Oh, you know what? That's freaking awesome. Because I ain't gonna lie, I have a ton of the STLs, but I'm too late. I don't have a 3D printer, and I never print them up. I know Dean does, but I have a ton of printable file. I'm just a lazy ass. I don't know what it is.
Now that I got my printer, and then a buddy of mine is getting ready to move to Texas and wants to get rid of a bigger one. Yeah, it's on and popping. I'm about to get me a second 3D printer. Oh yeah.
Oh, maybe I could give you some money. You could print me out some.
All I'm gonna tell you to do is just buy me some more resin, and you're good to go. You buy your own resin, and I'll print for you.
Oh, that's not. But if they give you out the actual minis, that's freaking awesome as well.
But here's another cool thing: these dice.
Yeah.
I've got a set of silicone dice. I experienced them for the first time at Gen Con. So they're silicone, so they're kind of rubbery, and they got a little bounce to them. So this is perfect for the Weird. And they got a whole set of dice that's coming with the Weird colors on it. I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely beautiful. I don't own any silicone dice. You said they have a bounce to it. What does that mean? You think?
You know what silicone is, right? Like just think it's a rubber. It's a more rubbery material. It's not hard, so it's flexible.
But do you think it affects the integrity of the rolls?
Not really, because like I said, because it has a little bit more, it'll have a little more play, but it won't, like if you bounce it in a dice tray, as you can see, like they have a video where you see it kind of bounce around a little bit. So you actually get a little more play than you do with a regular hard die. So it gives you an interesting type of roll,
Oh yeah.
I'm actually digging it. I'm
very
cool. Excited for those.
They're cool. I like them. Like I said,
I might order or matter of fact, I'll just pick up a pair. I'm pretty sure they'll have them at Game On Con.
Yeah, probably have some at Game On Con, but our good friend Dub T at Gen Con gave me a set because he knows how much I like dice. He gave me a set of the silicone ones, and I'm like, oh, I like these. I've been using them at the game store on a regular.
I need to try them. I haven't seen them in person.
Have you guys used the silicone dice yet? If you have, let me know how they are.
It looks really cool.
A little weird because you see he's just dropping it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So it's got a little bounce to it, and that's what I'm saying. How you get your action, which I kind of think are really cool about that.
I dig it. I like the way it looks when it bounces. It kind of has like a little, again, it looks a little weird because you don't normally see dice bounce like side to side. They usually, go one direction. I like it.
The minis look freaking awesome. The dice video. Let's see what else they have.
So of course they have the add-ons. You can get your best game ever. You can always buy your extra copies of the Weird, Glimmering Valley, the deck, the sites. You can buy the minis, you can buy the STLs, you can buy the dice separate, and they even have the Numenera starter set available too as add-ons right now. And if you have not played Numenera or you don't know Numenera, that starter set I will tell anybody and everybody, I endorse it 1000%. It is a great tool. It comes with characters. It comes with a full-on adventure. All the basic rules you need to run your first Numenera adventure, and will be perfect to set within the Glimmering Valley the way it's set up.
And if you back at the everything level, which is this one is called the Gonzo level, you get all this. All this is included already. So because you're getting 3 books already. You get in the regular core weird book, then you get in the deluxe edition weird book, which is signed by Monte Cook. You get the Numenera book, and you get the minis, the STL files, you get the dice and both decks. That's not included any of the other
stretch goals
that are going to come out after, because they're going to throw in another book, especially if it gets to around 300, 350K, they're throwing in another book somewhere down the line. So I think just right now, you probably, if we just did the math and said $50 a book, you already have $150 worth of books. So the 2 decks, the dice set, and the minis, I guarantee you're worth more than $25. So you're already up to 175.
Well, you're looking at $100 for just the Glimmering and the Weird, the regular edition of the book. That's $100 there.
Yeah.
The 2 decks are $40 a piece. The minis, the physical minis, are $60. The STLs are $30, and the dice are $20. So that's over $200 right there. That's 100, 140, 200, 230. That's $250 worth of stuff. Oh, and I forgot, $350 because you get the deluxe edition book too for $175. So that's double your money.
And the deluxe edition book is signed, right? I remember reading that somewhere.
I don't know if it's signed. I don't know. It just says
let me look at
comes with the foil cover, translucent dust jacket, and other cool weird features. Makes this campaign exclusive version of the Weird the one for you really want. So I don't know what else comes with it, but I mean, $350 for $175, you really can't go wrong.
Yeah, no, it's amazing deals.
I remember reading somewhere that it was signed.
You may have. I haven't read that, so I'm not going to say it is or isn't.
Hold on.
Sumter Mac guy in chat says yes, it is signed. Yeah. So I guess it is. I mean, I haven't seen it myself, just like Dean is saying, but it seems like Ant saw it somewhere, and Sumter Mac guy saw it somewhere. So that's cool.
All right. So before we go into the downloadable, what you call it, preview, let's talk about BackerKit. How do you like the interface of BackerKit?
I mean, it's fine. I mean, from the streaming perspective, as you can see, I have to include these side things here. I mean, I could have made it a little smaller, but then it would have looked awkward. And this is just purely aesthetic, cosmetic. Like, it has nothing to do with the site itself. It's just me griping about how I had to set up the stream. But aside from that, I kind of dig it. Like, it keeps all the pertinent links on the side here, so you can go where you need to. It seems to link, I don't want to click the links because it'll change the stream, but all these little things are links here. I can click how I want to pledge, instead of having to go to another part of the page or whatever. The site itself seems pretty nice. I mean, I haven't had much experience with it, so I don't really know, but again, so far seems good.
I'm having an issue, guys, and I was saving this. And let me know if anybody in chat is having the same issue. But I can never log in to BackerKit on my account from their website. For some reason, every time say if I just go straight to BackerKit and go to log in, it says my email is not, they don't recognize the email, which is funny because they're sending me emails saying, hey, we just hit a new stretch goal. But if I click on the link from the email, then I can log in. Is anybody else having that issue?
You know what? I'll be honest. I can't say that I have because I've never tried to log into BackerKit from outside of an email. I always go through my email. Yeah. And the other thing is too, a lot of times, depending on something I've learned dealing with BackerKit in the past, like when I want to change a pledge level or whatever, they always send you a link if you want to change your level, you always seem to have to log in through like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I can't just log in. Oh, maybe that's what it is. They're saying it's because it's still in beta. Maybe that's why I could only log in through the email. That
Yeah,
would
that
make
could be.
sense.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah,
What you call it? Jagos in chat here said they were kind of away for the discussion, but what is the major difference between Kickstarter and Backer Kit? I noticed it's a beta. It does say Backer Kit is a beta. I know Monte Cook Games uses Backer Kit for add-on stuff once their Kickstarter is usually done. I'm not sure how recently Backer Kit started this crowdfunding like section. Yeah, so far it seems as far as a user goes, like us, it seems pretty similar. But from what people are saying from the creator side, it looks like Backer Kit takes less of a cut, so it's a little bit better for people, obviously creators. But me specifically, or I don't really know too much more than that.
And Rogue Firefly is asking about Foci compared to something like Claim the Sky. This is not a cipher book. This is a system agnostic book. This book basically is going to give you advice on how to shape your characters, your settings, your adventures, and so on. Every aspect of your RPG, the story, and so on and so forth. So I don't think there's going to be any foci per se, but it will give you ways to manipulate your foci, it'll give you ideas on how to build different and more odd foci. I can see that being plugged right in with the way this is based out. So,
and the Numenera Glimmering Valley book might have foci in it, but it'll be, specific to Numenera. But
and it probably won't. I mean,
just like any other cipher system.
Any other cipher system.
You can always port it over with a little tweaking, but yeah, I mean, I doubt they'll have. I wonder though if they'll have something in the back of the book, like I don't know if they've ever done this before, but since it is a system agnostic book, do you think they'll have like a section in the back of the book? This is a good question to ask Monty when he comes on. About how you would use it in other systems. So not only cipher system, but maybe
5e and so on. Yeah. I don't see that not being a possibility, because if you think about it, with Your Best Game Ever, they did give advice like that, how to apply the concepts in Your Best Game Ever to your different games. They
Stealing Stories for the Devil did it as well.
Right. So they basically give you that, so does, and if you think about it, so does The Darkest House. The Darkest House is another one that gives
you... that's what I was thinking about, Darkest House. I'm sorry. Not Stealing Stories for the Devil, Darkest House,
Yeah. So,
the one last thing I'm going to say about, I think it's a very suitable, it's adequate, like, I'm not trying to bash Backer Kit, but there is some differences. It's a little easier to navigate on Kickstarter than it is on this site.
Well, Kickstarter, like I said,
I have to click like 3 links just to open up my pledge. And on Kickstarter, when you log in, you just hit you immediately see your full pledge on the right.
Yeah, you see a list of all the things you're pledging and so on and so forth. But with Backers Kit, I just kind of, like I said, I think I've just gotten in the habit of automatically going to the last email I had about whatever campaign is or whatever's going on with Backers Kit, and just log in from there. That to me, that's just the easier route. I just go to my like I said, last email. So guys, you want to jump on over to the PDF, the preview?
Yeah. So yeah, this is the Backer Kit. If you haven't already, please go check it out. Even if you don't want to back at the full level, you could just back for the book. So yeah, it's definitely worth it.
And real quick, before, we did make that mistake. We should actually go over the different levels real quick.
Oh, okay. Yep.
The pledge levels are $18 for the any digital reward, and that's just the PDFs. Then there's the every digital reward where you get all the digital, everything in digital. So that's the Weird, the Glimmering Valley, the STLs, and so on and so forth for $40. Um,
Oh, wait a minute, you get both PDFs for 18 bucks?
no, you get one or the other.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's ridiculous.
You get one or the other for 18, you get both for 40. You get both for 40, plus you get all the STLs.
All right.
Then for $45, you can just back for the Glimmering Valley. For $55, you can just back for the Weird. You can back both books at $90. You can do the deluxe edition for $100. You can do the books and decks for $145. And then, of course, there's the Gonzo level, which, you know, me and Anthony are just talking about. That's where you get everything.
That's called the Anthony and Dean level, because me and Dean don't even talk about it. Like if Dean says, "Hey, you're gonna back it," he knows exactly what we're.
Yeah, we're backing at the same level all the time. And then, of course, I know we should tell Monte Cook, you know, y'all, the next time you do one, just put the Anthony and Dean CU level. But and then, of course, there's also a retailer's level. So if you got a local store that you would love to carry some of this stuff, the retailer's level is pretty awesome. For $220, they get 3 copies of the Weird, 3 copies of the Glimmering Valley, and they get 3 starter sets for 220 bucks. That's an absolute steal for any retailer out there, you know. So,
And of course, it's September. We're looking at the Weird in September 2023. The decks in the spring of 2024. Both books in September 2023, plus the minis. And in the
and the
spring
dice.
2024, you get the 2 decks. So let's dive into the actual PDF that they gave us, so we can actually see what this book is about. There's enough with the chit chat. Let's get down to business.
All right. Well, of course, when we start talking about this, it opens up with the same blurb that Al read to us earlier, talking about how we make it weird. But then it goes into a little bit deeper.
Hold on, let's just admire this cover for a second, because this is freaking ridiculous. No, scroll back up, Al, up. Yeah, look at that. That is freaking sweet.
Listen, that cover right there, the possibilities are endless, because I'm getting old Pope era like Buck Rogers or Flash Gordon. I see Call of Cthulhu. I see Star Frontiers. I see aliens. I see some crazy fantasy pirate adventure.
First of all, he had me at the lizard guy drinking a martini with his little pinky out.
Exactly. I mean, come on, man. This is it's freaking awesome.
That thing looks freaking awesome. Yeah, the artwork on this is crazy.
And then when you scroll down beneath the title,
say who the artist is.
It doesn't say here, but you know, that's just a question we'll have to ask Bear.
Yeah.
But then, like when you scroll down beneath, beneath the word weird, I mean, come on, look at this, you know, the one guy, white guy, the white character looks like he's something from, you know, some crazy, fairy tale.
Yeah.
This other guy looks like he's some superheroic villain or something. And, you know, this is just awe-inspiring. I love the artwork for this because you can go places.
You know what I thought of immediately was this. It looks like a beholder in a human costume with the eyeball in the center.
Oh, with the eyeball in the center of his chest, yeah, or the center of his belly. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
What's the monster from Monsters Inc. with the big eyeball?
Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, Mike in a human costume.
That's cool, yeah. Or even like the dolphin dog. I mean, that's like a dolphin dog and a human. I mean, it's pretty cool, you know. Was it porpoise or something? As the artwork is craziness.
Yeah. All right, so let's actually start digging into this bad boy.
So the first portion that it does, like I said, is the introduction. And then, of course, they do the same introduction that I read about the Glimmering Valley. So those both things are introduced right here, right in the beginning. And then it moves right into a forward from Monte Cook, which is great, you know.
Yeah, it breaks it down into 4 different categories. We're not going to read the whole forward, but I think I want to read that bottom passage. The 4 categories are interesting, right? So it'll be reaction. You don't see that every day. Then Gonzo reaction, WFT. What the fuck? But it'll be a cat example. The cat doesn't call hairballs, but rather tiny robot versions of itself. That's mad cool. Then there's surprising reaction. Wait, that's impossible. Cat example. The cat can speak all human languages. Whimsical reaction. Is this a dream? Cat example. The cat songs created bridge to the moon. That's crazy. But this is the part, I think this answers a good part of what people were asking.
And
you want to
the
read
cool
now? The bottom piece?
Yeah, I can read that part. But yeah, just before I dive into it, these are amazing examples, and if this is any indication of what we're gonna be seeing in like the main book, it's gonna be full of so many cool ideas. But yeah, I'll read that little bottom paragraph there. Weird can fit into any game at any table. It brings mystery, interest, and curiosity to places where perhaps things have started to feel stale or repetitive. Think of it this way. When you first started playing RPGs, it was exciting, new, and utterly captivating, right? The weird is just a way to continue to introduce those feelings into your gaming experience even after you've been playing for a long time. Keeping it weird, Monte Cook.
Right. And so what's really cool about that, like Anthony gave those quick blurbs. So further into this preview, right after that, he actually defines each of those categories further, fleshes it out, which is pretty cool. So, when he talks about interesting, it's basically what's there. It's like I said, what it says on the label, it piques your interest. It's just slightly different than what might be in the real world, something to draw you in, which is really, really cool. And like the one line he said, interesting things don't make you run out of the room screaming or suggest you question your own sanity. They're probable and quite possibly based on what we understand of physics. Although again, there's a context raising its head, but it's just not the norm. So like he said, with the interesting example up top, the cat is a bright red color. You don't see bright red cats, but not completely inane. Somebody may have dyed the cat, or was the cat born bright red? We don't know.
It's interesting.
Exactly, it's interesting. Then when you move on to the next one, which he talks about right after that, is surprising. Surprising might sound like interesting in name, but when it comes to the weird, the surprising label could just as easily be shocking. So that whole concept, that whole thing, where Ant was saying that the cat can speak all human languages. That would be something you really wouldn't be expecting, especially you walking through the house and your cat starts talking to you or somebody's cat. It is surprising. It's a surprise, but we could probably wrap our brain around it. But then when you get to Gonzo, as it implies, all fetters are gone. That's it. There are no rules governing Gonzo, and it's like just out there. It's illogical. It makes no sense. I
don't even think it necessarily that it doesn't make sense, but I think it mixes genres so much that it blurs the line of what sensibility is.
Right. Well, that's what he said. But even he said Gonzo has no logical explanation, and maybe not even a satisfying one. You just go with it.
Yeah.
And then of course, whimsical is that dreamlike. That's the fairy tale. That's the hallucination experience. If you want to take LSD or you want to bring that element that you're on shrooms or something, whimsical. It's really cool that
whimsical to me is like Vert. Gonzo to me is like Army of Darkness.
Right? Exactly.
Yes.
It's funny because I like the line here. He said, whimsy has its own sort of logic, sometimes depending on a feeling or emotion. Whimsy is simpler and more straightforward, like the reasons behind the events of a dream. So
is the concept, right? Once again, we fully don't know because it really isn't. But I'm assuming, right, the concept is either you have an existing game or you want to start an adventure, right? And then you decide, okay, what kind of game do I want, right? And then, what kind of location do I want? And then you'll say, hey, we want a whimsical location. Then you go down to the charts and start either picking or rolling randomly from the chart for location, for scene structure. Is that how the concept is going to work?
I believe so. I believe that's, I mean, because what they do is he goes further on, and the same thing in there when you're looking at this preview, they actually give you examples of weird to use in different things. For example, some interesting and surprising creature appearance alterations.
Yeah, some of these are pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, let's do it.
So, like, if you talk about the creature appearances and alterations, whatever creature is, their flesh is covered in barbs, or they have a single bar.
Oh, hold on, sorry. Let's just roll it out. Let's see what we come up with. I got a D6.
Okay, roll.
Roll out the chart. What's the first category?
The first one's a D8.
D8, some interesting and surprising creature appearances for alteration. So roll a D8.
All right, I'm gonna roll the D8 right now. I got an 8.
The animal or the creature casts a shadow that is not their own. So that could be kind of freaky. You see a cat, but it casts the shadow of a man.
Oh, that's nice. So what's
now the next chart is some surprising science fiction characters. Roll a D6.
A D6. I got a 5.
A pilot on their own starship, but it's currently infested with alien bugs.
And you can actually, so it's the alien bugs. They cast a shadow that's not their own.
Now,
So-
I would say, as a twist, the lone pilot is the one casting a bug shadow. If we're putting the players in this situation, I think that
okay.
would be like, oh, is he actually in trouble, or is he trying to trick us?
All right,
Why is he
let's
casting
see-
a bug shadow?
So roll the D6 on the Gonzo chart. Let's see where it takes us.
I got a 2.
An ancient subway tunnel provides a secret way into the enemy kingdom.
All right,
So-
so the subway tunnel's a wormhole on this spaceship.
So let's combine all three. So we've got these weird bugs. We've got these bugs these bugs that are casting the shadows of men.
No, we have
But-
weird bugs and somebody casting a shadow that's not their own.
Right. And then of course, like you said, you open up one door on the spaceship, and it's a subway tunnel leading to a fantasy kingdom. What the hell,
All that looks like it'll fit right directly into the strange.
And let's take it a step further. Now
Let's
roll on the interesting object chart.
All right, what is it, a D10?
Yep.
All right, let me get a D10. A 10, no, 4.
A collection of coins mounted in a frame, and some of them are not recognizable. So that could be something that the guy has on his on the console of the spaceship, as a keepsake.
The pilot could, instead of coins, those are medals that the pilot is wearing, but but they're not from whatever planet he's from. So it creates an atmosphere that he might be some sort of spy, especially if we use an Al's idea that his shadow is casting as something else. Maybe he's a doppelganger or something.
And now there's a surprising object in the background. So what we got? Roll another D10. Yeah, another D10.
I got a 6.
2 handprints pressed into the wall. So that could be just as cool. You right over the door jamb, there's a couple of big handprints with 6 fingers instead of 5.
Yeah.
Or 2 thumbs. How about that? They got 4 actual fingers and 2 thumbs.
They also have a chart for whimsical fantasy characters. You can add all this stuff in there. Here's a D5.
Right.
It's D5. What is this?
Just roll a D10 and.
I know, but I'm just saying, what is this? DCC? D5?
Yeah, I know. Roll a D10 and we'll just do it that way.
I got a 4.
4 would be a 2. Okay, a cat that spins webs like a spider. That's the guy's pet.
Okay.
Okay,
you
and now
can
we
do
get
so much with this, like
go to
so
the treasure
much.
chart, and
Yeah.
maybe this guy's got something in the cargo hold.
Or,
Yeah.
or the treasure they go into this fan, or a golden dragon head clearly removed from a much larger statue.
There you go.
Yeah, this
And,
is awesome.
That
and
treasure.
of course, let's see the whimsical place, the surprising fantasy location that the subway tunnel leads to.
Because we have a mix between fantasy and we have a mix
Sci-fi.
and sci-fi, yeah.
So roll
Yeah,
roll a 3. A sea made of swirling letters originating from the explosion of a magical book.
That could have been what created the tunnel in the ship.
Yeah,
Exactly.
this is awesome. Like just
Yeah.
like
Oh,
again,
and it goes on, and look at all these other.
this sort
Gonzo
of thing.
companions, whimsical materials, surprising magical requirements, alien art, Gonzo alien artifacts. I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about this stuff, right? And I see this a lot because I'm on like D&D pages on like Facebook just for memes. A lot of these people who are discussing like how to change their game up, like I see memes, I see people discussing it literally this, like how do I make my thing more interesting or more weird or like memorable or whatever have you. This can help so many people struggling with that question, like how do I make my encounter memorable, how do I make this NPC memorable, whatever have you. You have so much fodder here. And this is just a preview.
Also, the artwork in this, first of all, the layout is crazy nice, and the artwork in this is ridiculous. Look at the circus one on page.
If you just look at page 11, I'm getting 3 different flavors here. I mean, that one little spot up there reminds me of some anime.
Page 9 is crazy. Go down. I mean, back up.
Oh, page 9.
Y'all are telling me 2 different pages, yo. Like that's why I'm going between the 2.
Go to 9 for a sec, real quick. Look at that. That's crazy.
Well, see, that just takes me to, that would be like the bizarre circus that you don't want to go to. How'd you run a whole adventure just on that picture alone?
It looks like a giant circus, and you're like tiny people.
Right. And then, but if you look at page 11, I was just saying there's like, I see anime, I see a serious fantasy, I see historical fiction, I see like just pure fantasy. It's crazy.
Yeah, this piece is super nice.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and I love even what it says. The title of this PDF is Peering into the Weird. Is really, really cool. And it's inspiring already. We don't even have this book yet. We don't even, they're saying a year away, September 2023. We're talking about a year away, and I'm already like stoked. I can't wait to start getting my PDFs and stuff.
You can literally use this preview.
On, I would love to hear what their thoughts on how to utilize this book.
Oh yeah, we gotta make sure we get some, good questions together for that.
Because I like, this is definitely enough of a preview to get your mouth wet and make you wanna like see further what's gonna come out. But I just want to know what exactly, like, I wonder, is it gonna be a book full of charts, or what else is are they gonna have is the different Gonzo and surprise, are they gonna be separated in sections? Yeah, it's giving me a lot more questions.
So I can see them either grouping it by the category, like Gonzo, whatever have you, or I can see them grouping them by type, like all the locations are together, all the objects are together, so on and so forth. Or I can even see them doing something like this, where it's like random, like you can just pull up a random page and like, hey, I can set a scene with this one page, like literally. That's amazing. The fact that I could just flip through this preview, pick one of these pages, and bam, I can set a scene, like make it interesting with just these two, 3 tables. Like that's amazing.
And what's crazy is with this preview, you could literally start using these concepts already.
Yes.
Just from the information that's given in this preview, there's enough of an understanding of what they're going for. And then with those charts that are given, that's a plethora
Oh, I could definitely craft an adventure with just this.
That's what
book.
I'm saying. With just this preview, with this 11-page preview, it's on and popping.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I
And
mean,
one thing I will say though,
because go ahead, Al.
no, if this art that's in this preview is any indication of the art we're gonna see in the actual book, oh my god, like it's gonna be amazing.
First
Right,
of all, the layout is beautiful. It's legible. You know,
I'll be honest.
I really like it when they have those colors separated because it's easier. It's easier on the eyes to read instead of having, you know, like one of the issues I had with the first Numenera book was there was like blocks of text and it was very difficult to read. But I mean, they've corrected that multiple times. But I love how everything is separated, so it's very easy to read.
Well, I'm gonna throw it out there. If they're watching this video, I think one of the stretch goals should be just a book of art. I would just love the art in a book without any of the text, just so I could page through it, just to get inspiration from that alone. Because I think that would be awesome. So I'm throwing it out there right now. I think stretch goals should be an art book.
I mean, I don't know how, like, it would be awesome, not just an art book, but like to get individual like PDFs of the images. Like, I know that's like a lot, but like it would be awesome. Like this, like we're looking at the page here with that weird like brain peeled doctor. Like, I want to show that without like the text around it to my players. Like, that would be cool as hell to be able to, like, again, I don't know where the legality or whatever have you falls on that. Like, can we use these images in games? Like, I know in our home games we can, but like it would be cool to be able to use these, like, instead of me having to cut it out and show someone, or like, share my page and show someone,
Well, yeah, I think, one of the books they did that, they gave us a PDF of one of the art books. That was the only way to get it. I can't remember. I think it was an Invisible Sun book I got.
And also Numenera has a lot of wallpaper.
Yeah, Numenera, I got a couple of Numenera art books, up on the shelf over there.
No, I mean, they have the digital images, because that's how I got all my screensavers. Remember?
Oh, yeah. That big pack that they gave us of all those Numenera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was for Discovery and Destiny. We got those.
It would definitely be awesome to see something like that for this project with the weird, especially with, again, imagery is you want to be, it's a role-playing game. You want to be like descriptive or whatever have you. But these images, just looking at these, like, this inspires so much, like just looking at it. Like,
did you see what Yakos wrote? He wrote, "Dean, leave my wallet alone. It's already dead."
Something Matt guy said, Time Bandits. Yeah, this.
Oh God, yes, definitely Time Bandits.
I don't know what
also,
that
too,
is.
I think this is like the strange. I think it's perfect for the weird.
Well, Al, that's another piece of media you need to watch. Time Bandits is a classic.
That's a classic. Yeah.
It's a classic.
Is that a movie or a series?
It's a movie. It's an old is it Terry Gilliam or Terry Pratchett? One of the two, or maybe both of them. It's like completely gonzo movie. These, little people. I don't know if you want this dwarves, because I know midgets is a wrong term, but little people on a boat like pirates, and they're like going through time. It's like, it's completely gonzo.
That sounds crazy. And Sean Connery's in it.
Oh yeah, Sean Connery. It was Terry Gilliam. I knew it was Terry Gilliam. I think was it based on a Terry Pratchett story? But at any rate, it is completely off the chain. It's one of the best movies, genre movies from back in the day. If you haven't seen it, I recommend anybody out there watch it. You'll enjoy it. It's crazy.
We definitely got to get a movie night on track.
Record, we don't use the M word.
Right, I know. That's what I said. I know that wasn't it. That's what I said. That's why I said little people, dwarves. Yeah. I'm not. But I know that the M word was not acceptable anymore.
Yeah.
But either way, though, it would be nice. Again, I said it. Anthony was talking a little bit, but we should try to really. I know I've said it a million times, but a movie night where we sit down on the Discord and we just all watch a movie together.
Time Bandits would be a good one, because Dean is right. Time Bandits is a freaking classic. You haven't seen Princess Bride, right?
You can
No,
do
I
listen.
haven't. I have not seen that one
You
either.
haven't.
No.
Oh my God, Al!
That's
Killing
what I
me,
mean. This is what I
man.
mean. Like, we need to have a movie night where I could just sit down with everybody and you can see my reactions to these things that I've never seen before.
You're killing me. I mean, like listen, and you guys run around. Dude, me and Al watched Caddyshack with me one night, which
Oh
was
yeah, yeah, we did do that one night.
we
Yeah,
did,
yeah.
yeah, we did Caddyshack, and it was great. Al's reactions was like totally awesome. So yes, we need to start implementing maybe a Thursday or a Friday or even a Saturday or something where we watch a movie on
Oh,
Discord. We have a movie
oh,
night.
guys, you have no idea. Al has not seen any movie.
Right. Al is so many things Al has not seen.
But I think that would be easy to set up. We just got to figure out maybe once, like maybe every 2 weeks or something. But we'll talk about it on the server. We're getting a little sidetracked here.
All right. So, guys, what is the final verdict? Are you excited for this project, or are you excited to see what this book has in store?
I know I for sure am now, especially after seeing the preview with the art. Like you guys were saying earlier in the stream, when these things come out, we don't really look into them because we know, MCG is gonna have a great product. So like we take our time looking into them. This was actually my first time really looking at the preview, really looking at the backer kit page, and I'm excited. I was a little excited before because I do like random tables. Random tables are always like, an improv GM's best friend. But this, like, you can set up so much stuff with it. Even just the preview has so much in it. Like, it's going to be a full book of this. That's incredible.
Yeah. And I'm actually in the same boat. Like we all said we normally don't, normally you kind of have an idea because of it's Cypher or it's this or it's that. This one I'm excited for way more because remember how we were with your best game ever. We were kind of, I don't need that book. I've been doing this. Oh, it turned out to love your best game ever. This one has got me dancing a jig on the inside. I'm literally like the possibilities mind blown because it's like I'm already working on stuff and I might use some of this just to get through that.
And
Yeah, this
Joggle,
is definitely. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No. I was just gonna say that Jagos in chat was even though I don't play a lot, the agnosticism really compels to me or compel. Either way, the fact that they chose and to make this a system agnostic thing was perfect because this can apply to so many different games, so many different systems, and it was I think a smart move to make it that anybody who enjoys any game could partake in this book.
No,
I think that was a good idea.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to say this, and I'm throwing it out there. This isn't just for gaming. If you are a creative, if you are a writer, this is going to be huge. I'm saying this right now. I'm working on a project right now. This is going to this is going to help me build my lore because I wanted something different, and this is right up that alley. This is going to, literally help you drive that bus down that road. So if you're creative in any sense of the word and you're creating worlds and so on and so forth, this is magnificent world building.
Yeah, I'm absolutely excited. Like what you guys said, I think the artwork is absolutely fantastic. I think the layout is gorgeous. I love the concept. I love the idea of taking the genre toolkit books and making it system agnostic and just giving you a toolkit to create weird and funny adventure scenes and ideas. The only thing I want to know, and I'm sure when we'll get the MCG stuff, I want to know if what else is in this book. Because even though it would be cool to have just, 100, 200 pages of random charts, I will expect something else. So I want to know what the something else is.
Well, I believe they've already given you that, Anthony. I mean, just in the one spot where Al was talking about, where they were talking about the events, things that you can just drop into your games. Those are going to be huge. Those are going to be, scene setters. I believe
Also, those events from the event cards you think are actually taken from this book? I thought they were.
No, we're just talking.
There's sites. No, up in the right here it says at 100 weird events. We'll expand the weird with ready-made weird events you can drop into any game. So in other words, that was just a stretch goal, the 150K stretch goal.
Yeah. So the 150K stretch goal already tells us we're going to see something other than random tables. But again, we could see these scenes on a table as well, which is not a detraction at all. They could just be
Yeah,
on a table.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Even if it was just that, I would still enjoy that. I'm greedy. I want everything.
Oh yeah, but I think you're gonna get it. I really do. I think the concept behind this book it's just like your best game ever. It's really gonna be a book of advice to build upon, you know. And I think you're gonna get exactly what you're looking for and probably more. I think we're all gonna be surprised that what this book is gonna do. You know, at least that's the feeling I get. I mean, you know, we are fanboys, and like we say, you know, we love MCG, but at the end of the day, I really haven't been let down by the products that I've kickstarted and, you know, what we get. I love what they do, and you know, I got to take a new picture of my shelf so I can use it as my background as I put more stuff up there. That's why I haven't had that up in a while.
At the end of the day, this looks phenomenal. Glimmering Valley looks phenomenal. I'll take either or of those two books, you know. I think they probably work well perfectly together, you know. So yeah, I think it's going to be a fantastic combination just getting those two books. So I'm definitely for it. I'm with all the smoke that the weird is going to bring. So I'm definitely happy and proud that I backed this. And before I go into my spiel, you guys have any final statements?
Just my final statement is, hey, if you're on the fence, don't be on the fence. I mean, we do have 24 days to go, but you know, jump off, jump on, and you know, let's make this thing huge. Because again, I think Monte Cook is going to deliver in spades. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Yeah, and just as a simple follow up to that, what you said is like true. Let's blow it up, just so we could hopefully see more system agnostic books in this sort of vein. Because I think a lot of people do benefit from this. Because again, it doesn't matter what kind of game you're running when you have an idea like generator basically that can help you with any setting, any genre, whatever have you. Yeah, that would be awesome to see.
I also think this book is actually the collaboration of Monte Cook, Bruce Cordell, and Sean K. Reynolds. I think they're all writing on this.
Well, they list the whole team, actually. Yeah. They list everybody as working on this. So I think we're getting contributions from, you know, everybody out there. And that's something else that I don't think a lot of people know. I mean, we know Monte Cook, Bruce Cordell, Shauna Germain, and Sean K. Reynolds. We know those names to be the primary writers and stuff like that. But the rest of the team does some phenomenal work too. You know,
and they also found Dominic Dickey.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I was just about to bring it up. Charles wrote a adventure for Cypher System. It was for a convention, and I'm telling you, by far, that's probably my favorite introductory adventure. It's called Castaways. I love that particular adventure. Charles did such an excellent job. Dominic Dickey wrote one for Stars of Fire. I can't remember the title of it, Miracle 6 or something. But it's, again, another great adventure. These adventures are so solid and they take you places. I can't speak enough of what the MCG team does as a whole. You know, so don't sleep on it, people. You know.
All right, we're going a little off topic. Any final thoughts?
I'm done.
If you like us and you like what we do, join the Cypher Unlimited Discord server for all things Monte Cook Games. We have the largest fan-run Discord server with over 4,000 members and growing. If you don't like Discord, join our Facebook group. It's not as big as our Discord, but we have great conversations being had there daily. Or visit this. You want to support us in some way? Give us a little donation on Ko-fi. Our videos are always free, but it helps us out with little things like Zoom course. give us a subscription here on Twitch or follow us on Twitch. It'd be greatly appreciated. Or go to our YouTube channel, give us a like, share, and subscribe there. We're so close. We're 30 away from 1,000 on YouTube, guys. We will really appreciate it if you went to YouTube and give us a subscription there. Even if you don't like us and you hate us, subscribe to tell us to go F ourselves every day. As long as you subscribe, I'll have a conversation with you, I promise. Did I mention our online store? If you want to pick up some cool Cypher Unlimited merch, like this beautiful shirt Dean got on, go to our Cypher Unlimited store and pick up some merch there. Also, we have a giveaway plan, but we're going to GameOCon to work out the kinks. So the giveaway, unfortunately, probably will not be until the end of next month. But we're going to have a fantastic giveaway, guys. There's going to be well over a couple $1,000 worth of product. So please be on the lookout for that. We also are attending GameOCon next month. So if you want Madison, Wisconsin and want to game with the CU crew, want to game with the Monte Cook Games team, go to GameOCon because we all going to be there. Am I missing anything? I think that's it, right?
I think you got everything.
Next week, once again, we got Bruce Caldell coming on to talk about Glimmering Valley and the Weird. So if you want to talk to Bruce from Monte Cook Games, Bruce Caldell, have your questions lined up next Wednesday at this time, 10 p.m. Eastern. You'll get to talk to Bruce. The week after, we have Bear Wader. We could talk about this wonderful art and the layout design for the Weird and Glimmering Valley. And last but not least, on October 6th, which is a Thursday, not a Wednesday, we have Monte Cook himself coming on again, back onto the CU to talk about, Frankie is Monty, talk about whatever the thing he wants to talk about. All right, I'm done, guys.
Hey, real quick, everybody, just so you know, if you really want to get your questions out there, of course, get them together, but send us a few questions. We might even just take them and add them into our questions for next week. Send them either to me or we'll make sure we get them, or Al, send them directly to us in a DM. And that would be great as well.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, guys, if you have some questions and you want us to put in the show notes, send them to us. Definitely, either send it to us on Discord or hit us up on Facebook or Twitter, whatever you want. But yeah, that's a great idea, dude.
Yeah,
yep. We'll definitely be on the lookout in our DMs across all platforms. Regardless of what your preference is, you have a way to reach us. So definitely hit us up. Anything under the CU banner that has DM capabilities, we will see it.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for watching. It was a blast. I'm super excited for this book. I hope you guys are too. And if you were on the fence, hopefully you'll go and back it because, quite frankly, it does look amazing. We've kept y'all here long enough. So from us at the CU, we will see you later.
Bye, guys.